Chris Shandik, CYInterview, covering Las Vegas and the world. If you haven't already, please hit that like button below and please hit that subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on here at CYInterview in Las Vegas and beyond. We greatly appreciate it. Today we're going to revisit another CYInterview from 2017 with legendary Hollywood actress Tippi Hedren, who's known for her role in the Alfred Hitchcock movie The Birds. Here is that CYInterview.
You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Yandick. Featured columnist Jay Bilstein is with me. Today on CYInterview, we welcome legendary actress and model Ms. Tippi Hedren to talk about her new book, Tippi, a Memoir, and we will also talk about her foundation, Shambhala, as well. Thank you for joining us today. Shambhala, thank you. Thank you
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Well, I'm very well, thank you.
I want to ask, reading your book to start out with, the thing that came to mind most early on in the first 100 pages was the following. You were interested in becoming a figure skater, but then you met a woman and you got your first modeling gig, and the rest was history. Have you ever thought about how your life would have been different if you would have become a figure skater?
Actually, no, I don't think in those kinds of terms, because I don't have. I kind of go along with what's happening at the moment, and I kind of put my life into what's important at the time.
Gotcha. So, speaking about your modeling before we get into your acting, what I like about the book is you really give us an early perspective of what TV commercials were like, about what it was like to be in an early TV commercial. What was it like to be at the beginning of TV, be a model, be on these early commercials, and see the beginning of the process?
Well, I feel like I was very fortunate in being there at that time, and it certainly was a wonderful job opportunity. I was very fortunate in being there at that time. It was the beginning of a new career for a whole lot of people. It was actually the beginning, of all of these amazing commercials that were being done. It was the beginning of the TV commercial, and what an amazing career it was for so many of us. It was really astounding. Yeah, it really was. It was a brand new horizon, and fortunately, it was a very financially lucrative business.
Tippi, always find it interesting how technology and art intertwine. Your daughter, Melanie Griffith, is a noted actor, as you are. How have you seen Hollywood change over the years? Do you think Hollywood has improved, gone downhill? Do you find that all the technology we have today in terms of communication technologies helps the artistic process, or do you think we've lost something?
Oh no, I think it's become huge, and I think it's greatly improved, and I think it's been greatly enhanced. Absolutely.
Chris?
Looking forward, we read in the book, Tippi, a Memoir, you end up in these commercials, you end up moving to New York City, and then a famous director sees you in a commercial and wants you to be part of his studio. Of course, that would be Alfred Hitchcock. Did you feel like in your early part of your life that you were just always in the right place at the right time?
Well, it sort of seems that way, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe I was just one of those people that was in the right place at the right time, and or that I was smart enough to take advantage of opportunities. Maybe it was a little of both, a little bit of everything.
You know, and speaking about that, do you, when I know that you've been out on a book tour and you've been speaking at universities and other places like that, do you say to young people maybe the best advice you could give to them is just keep working, keep at it, keep getting yourself out there because that's what you did and look where you were?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think you can never give up. Don't ever give up. You know, find something that you're interested in and stay with it. And you know, hopefully you've chosen something that's admirable and something that you can be proud of, and that can be a lucrative financially and emotionally. Something that you can be proud of.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about that. And I'm sure that, you know, being an actress, you know, you get asked about that first. But then the second question I would have for you is, what advice do you have for young women who want to be aspiring models?
Just one second.
Honey, I'll be with you in a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's my cat. My cat's very demanding.
I understand that completely.
Well, Chris, actually, you have something in common. You're both cat people.
Yeah, we both are.
Definitely. Now, I'm sorry, what was the question? What?
Advice for young ladies who might want to be aspiring models. You probably are always asked about how does one become an actress, but how about becoming a model?
First of all, find out what your what the business is, what the business is like, what it is that you want to be, and there's you know, you can the best way to find out about it is to become a fashion model, and with the right people, the right agency, and start working as a model, and first of all, as I said before, with the right people, the right agency, and so that you're getting the right information with the right people.
Oh, absolutely. There's no denying that.
And that's always the way with no matter what vocation that you go into is getting involved with the right people.
Well, I think the most important thing, and one of the most important things that someone can take away from Tippi, a memoir, is that you had a line in there basically saying along the lines of is that I will never put a price on my dignity.
Yes. Well, that's exactly. Yes, that's and I will always stick by that.
Jay?
Tippi, what was it like working opposite Sean Connery and Marnie?
I was really thrilled to know that Sean would be my leading man, and because I would be working with a consummate actor, and indeed he was, and I was, and with all of the actors with whom I was working, they were all absolutely the best, and I learned from them, and I hope they learned from me, and it was They were good for my career, and I hope I was good for their career.
After being in Marnie, and since Sean Connery was then in the James Bond franchise, did you ever sit back and think during that time in the '60s, gee, I'd love to be a Bond girl. I'd love to be cast in a James Bond film.
Well, I wouldn't have turned it down. That's for sure. No, I would have loved to have done that, and I would have accepted in a minute. Yes, that would have been exciting.
Do you feel that because you had worked with Hitchcock in two, one certainly iconic movie, and the other in The Birds, and of course Marnie, a very, very strong film, that somehow it presented you on a different plane, and that getting lighter roles was made harder?
I think so. Absolutely, it did. Yes.
I'm.
What happened? Yeah.
I'm curious, as we speak, it seems that in Hollywood, every 10 years or so, there's a kind of, I don't know, a type that is looked for, a type of woman, a type of man. There was the days of the tall, leading man, very handsome, and then we came into the 70s, and it was the era of more ethnic, leading men, a little bit quirkier maybe, the Robert De Niro's, the Al Pacinos, the Dustin Hoffmans. Were you, for example, in the 60s ever up for roles, let's say, in competition with someone like Inger Stevens?
I don't know that. I don't know that.
But would you say, though, that there was a kind of era where there was this, particularly in the United States, this fascination with the beautiful blonde, coming off an age of Jane Mansfield and Marilyn Monroe? The 1960s in movies and television kind of belonged to the beautiful blonde. Do you think that's accurate, or do you think that's incorrect?
No, I think you're probably right. I don't think I was included in that genre.
And probably because you were in such strong work early on, that it made you be looked at as someone very serious. Do you think that worked in your advantage or disadvantage? Looking back, would you have had it any other way?
I think I would not have had it any other way. And I think that is what happened.
Indeed.
But I was content with that.
Chris?
Focusing on The Birds, Ms. Hedren, I think that what's most interesting about this, of course, is that you're signed to your contract. You do these unbelievable screen tests, which were, very expensive. I think you said by today's standard that they would be $200,000 by today's dollars, which I thought was very interesting. Question I have for you is that, you are an unknown put into a big Hitchcock movie. When you look back on that and you look back on that opportunity, today in Hollywood it seems like they're not willing to take as many risks on unknown talents in big projects. So what do you think about that?
I think it is just because of the costs of doing the screen tests, and I think it was because of the director himself. I think Alfred Hitchcock could do whatever he wanted, and he did. I think it was a unique situation, and I was fortunate enough to be the I don't know what would I call it,
the actress chosen for the role?
Yeah, yes. I was the lucky, the lucky person.
Oh, no denying that.
I think it was not a common situation at all.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why I asked you that question.
Yeah, it was unique, and I was well aware of it at the time.
do you feel like that you got the acceptance you deserved when you were on the press tour for the movie, or was it after the movie had come out and then you went on to your next role? When do you think you got acceptance from the Hollywood community?
Let's see. I don't. It's a difficult question for me to answer. You know, because I was under contract to Alfred Hitchcock, and it was he who was made the choices of my receiver of doing any other films, and I have no idea what was offered to me. I have no idea what was offered to me.
Well, moving forward, I want to talk about your daughter, Melanie, of course. You write in the book that you did not encourage nor suggest her becoming an actress, but at the same time, you were going to be a supportive parent no matter what. Looking at her career, what do you feel?
Well, I feel that she has had an amazing career, and I think she is an extraordinary actress, and I supported her with everything that she wanted to do. I didn't push her into anything. I didn't promote her in any way. These were all things that happened to her as my career happened to me.
Understandable. And focusing on that, did she come to you much and ask for advice, or did she just kind of go on her own way? Because
she's a very independent woman.
Yeah.
She always was. She always was, and still is.
Jay?
Tippi, it seems to me that probably about half the films you've been in, well, maybe not half, but maybe about 40% you've been in since 1999, 2000, the turn of the millennium. What do you attribute to that kind of impetus, that kind of pickup in your career and the volume of your work as time has gone on?
Actually, there have all been films that have been offered to me. I mean, I haven't gone out looking for them. They have been offered to me.
So that was just something spontaneous? There was no plan on your part that said, you know, I miss, you know, being in front of the cameras or something, or you got in touch with your agent or your manager and said, hey, let me see some good scripts. It's just something that happened kind of spontaneously.
No, they've all just happened. Yeah.
Did you find that in recent years you've enjoyed working, making films as much as you did at the beginning of your career, or perhaps more so?
Oh, no, I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed it.
Chris?
Tippi, you are in your memoir, you give a very personal view of who Alfred Hitchcock is as a person. I'd love to ask what your reaction has been about your honesty and what you experienced and what you dealt with. From people who've read the book.
I don't understand that question.
Were people surprised at what you shared? Did a lot of people turn around and say, really? Or was Hitchcock really like that? Were people surprised about your portrayal of Alfred Hitchcock in the book?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they were. In what way would they be surprised?
I don't know. Sometimes there are individuals who have a public persona, or because their art, in this case, the director and his films, may be beloved by people, or they're tremendous fans of a director's work or of an actor's work, and then they hear things about that individual that may have the quality of kind of tarnishing their image of that person when they don't even know that person. They just know them. They don't know them. They know their artwork from afar, their movie, their painting, their singing, whatever it is. There was you didn't hear from anyone who said really, or nobody was left incredulous, or was this something that people just took in stride?
Well, I think Alfred Hitchcock had an interesting persona about him. I think he was fairly mysterious. I think and I think that's what he wanted people to believe about him. And I think he succeeded with that, giving that kind of persona about himself. I think he did.
He certainly did come off as mysterious. That is certainly true.
I think he did too.
Was he like that in person?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I think he was.
The way you laugh, it makes me seem like he was probably even more mysterious in person.
Well,
I can think of him back in the day on television. Good evening, this is Alfred Hitchcock. Even as a little kid, I'd watch that and say, just seeing him come on screen and begin to speak was somewhat frightening. Was he intimidating in person?
Well, not to me, he wasn't.
Well, it seems like he was quite taken with you, but do you think he was intimidating to other actors?
Oh, I think he was. And yet I think there were a lot of actors who were not intimidated by him at all. And I think he knew completely how to handle everyone, and he was good at it. He was just very, very good at it. But he was a very, very interesting man. I found him to be, very, very interesting. He didn't frighten me. He didn't scare me. He tried. And he was the kind of person who tried to intimidate everyone, and those kinds of things don't interest me, nor do they scare me. So we got along very well.
Do you think, Tippi, that sometimes people who don't work in front of the camera, writers, directors, producers, who may not possess leading man or leading woman looks, sometimes have an ego struggle when they deal with folks who are in front of the camera who tend to be good-looking people? Do you think that causes some issues?
Oh yes, I think in his mind he looked like Cary Grant.
Really?
Oh yes, I think he did. Yes, it was rather sad, actually.
Wow, he did, obviously he didn't have a quality mirror, did he? I mean, his work was. Yeah, I mean, his work was certainly incredible. There's no doubt about that, and I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but we can look back at Sir Alfred Hitchcock and say certainly he left an indelible impression on the movie business in Hollywood, but indeed, him thinking he looks like Cary Grant, gee whiz.
No, but he was an incredible director, and I think he was able to. I think he was capable of being such an incredible director because he he had such an incredible imagination.
Understood.
Yeah.
I know, Chris, that you wanted to get into some other areas quickly.
Yes. Before we let you go, I want to talk about your love of animals, your foundation. Obviously, we'll give the website here. So tell me about everything.
Oh, everything. Okay. Well, I have always had an incredible love for animals, and when my then husband and I did this movie called Roar, in which we became involved with the big cats. In order to do the film, we acquired the big cat owners said, you're going to have to get some of your own cats to do this movie because of the numbers of animals that you want in this movie. So that is what we did. We acquired many of our own animals to do the movie, and of course that opened a whole can of peas that we never expected to do. And in so doing, we fell in love with the big cats. And that opened a whole can of peas because we then found so many animals that were being sold as pets, and of course they're apex predators. They are top of the food chain, one of 4 of the most dangerous animals in the world, therefore not making them a good pet. And so we all of a sudden were taking in so many of these animals that were up for adoption because they were not a good pet. And at one point we had almost 100 animals here, lions and tigers and leopard. And in the 70s, I am thinking, why is our government allowing this to happen? The breeding of these animals to be sold as a pet or for financial gain. And it was becoming a huge business. It was on a par with illegal drugs. And so I looked into it all, and I put a bill together, and I got it passed to stop the breeding of these animals to be sold as a pet or for financial gain. And so eventually, it has taken a number of years, but the numbers of lions and tigers has diminished, and which I'm very, very grateful for. And we don't have this plethora of big cats being sold to be somebody's pet. So I'm very, very happy that this has come to fruition. But for a while it was a huge, huge problem, and we did get to know a great number of them, and there were a great many of them that lived out their lives with us here at Shambhala. Was at one point we had about 80 animals here. It was huge.
How many?
And by the way,
today?
that's where you live, right?
Yes, I still live here.
My goodness.
Yeah, we have about 30 big cats here now.
And people can make a donation by going to the website. I'm going to spell it, www.shambala.org, if you'd like to assist in helping with these great animals.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it, because it's the national debt to keep it going.
How many tigers and lions and leopards do you currently have?
We've got around 30 right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
they have a really wonderful life here, where they're in very, very large areas, and And in fact, many of them you can walk by the compound and can't even find them. The areas are so big, and it's a really wonderful place for them.
Well, I think about early in your life, you had a cat named Peter.
I did. Yeah.
And you wanted to go across the country because you guys were moving from Minnesota to California, and you were so worried about how Peter was going to be in a little cage or whatever, and you had a neighbor who made a customized cage.
Yes, he did. Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber made it. Yes.
To take the cage across the country and take the animals.
Yeah.
So, but the point we told us early on in the book, you loved cats and you loved animals, but I'm guessing you never imagined it would be this.
Well, no, I think it probably would have scared me to pieces. Yeah, to think of the enormity of the involvement that it became my life,
Oh, no denying.
It's been amazing. It's been an amazing life.
Well,
We had 2 African elephants who lived out their lives with us.
Wow.
And the man who took care of our elephants was a Hell's Angel, and he came down on his motorcycle one day and said, "I hear you're looking for people to work here." And we said, "What can you do?" He said, "Everything." And we said, "Okay, prove it." And he did, and he now runs the place. His name is Chris Galucci. And he not only took care of the 2 elephants, he knows everything about the big cats and about the place, and it's just an amazing place, this Shambhala Preserve.
Does the press come from time to time? Do you invite the press to come down?
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, you are welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It just sounds absolutely amazing, and based on my reading, you're about, only 40 miles from Los Angeles?
Yes, yes. And we're open one weekend a month at shambhala.org, and you have to have a reservation and a small donation.
Well,
and we accept very large donations as well.
Sure you do, and I'm sure you can really use them.
Yes, we can.
By the way, do you have a full-time veterinarian on site, or you have veterinarians nearby?
We run such a tight ship that our staff is so knowledgeable about the animals and the foods that we feed, the care that the animals receive. We don't need a full-time veterinarian, although we have 4 that are on call at any time, and they're close by. But we don't need a full-time veterinarian. And the animals are so healthy and so content.
Wow.
They're in big areas, and it's an amazing place. It's really wonderful.
That's phenomenal.
Yes. And I hope you will come and see us.
Well, I hope we get to meet you very soon, Ms. Hedren.
Where are you? Where are you located?
Well, I'm located in Miami, Florida, and my colleague Jay is actually in Mexico right now.
We are actually, as we've told our past few guests, we just had on Rich Little the other day. We are relocating to Las Vegas. So we will just be a very short 15-minute flight. Exactly. So love to see Shambhala. It really sounds absolutely fantastic. And I would encourage...
You can also stay overnight in our tent. We have an overnight tent in which you can stay.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic.
And that's very wonderful. I slip over there and stay overnight sometimes. And I live on the place.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people are going to be very interested, that this is not just something you are kind of sort of committed to. I mean, your level of commitment, you live there. You live there.
Oh, I do. In fact, my neighbor and She's about 4 feet away from me, and she's a tiger, and her name is Mona. And then from then on, all the lions and tigers are spread out. But I hear them roaring during the night, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. I am the luckiest lady in the world.
Sounds incredible. You really have quite some experiences going, from the birds to the cats.
The cats. Yes, and I have made a magnificent life for myself. I really have.
Well, in closing, Tippi, I'd like to mention again, Tippi, a memoir. Why should folks go out and buy the book and read the book?
Because I think I have had one of the most fascinating lives of anybody I know. I really do. When I think back about all of the things that I have done and the doors that have opened for me that I have walked through, I almost called my book The Open Door, because there have been so many incredible things that I have done, and that, the doors that have opened for me, and a lot of doors I've just slammed shut too. But I've just had an amazing life, and not just dealing with the animals, but I've been to Vietnam with our servicemen twice.
Yep.
I've done lots of different things, and I have taken advantage of a lot of the doors that have opened for me. And I've had.
You mentioned Vietnam. I've just got to ask, based on something I read. I didn't know if it was true or not. Did you have some involvement in this kind of these nail salons that were initially? Yeah, that is true. In other words, you were an impetus behind Vietnamese women who came to the States and opened nail salons.
I am the person behind all of that. Yes,
so that's true. That's not an internet myth. That is for real.
No, it is not a myth. We were trying to find jobs for the Vietnamese women. A whole group of women that I was trying to find. We were trying to find jobs for them, and I noticed that they were very, very good with their hands. And I thought, the manicuring, that would be perfect for them. And so I had my own manicurist come and teach them how to do the Juliet manicure. And that was where they put the glazes over the nails, and they all of these women, I think there were about 15 or 20 of them, and they were taught how to do this manicure. It was called the Juliet manicure, and they all learned how to do it, and that's how it all started.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So this means that perhaps the sequel to your book will be called "I Nailed It," and this will mean that there'll be 2 movies made from your books, not just one.
Well, why not?
The question today, in closing, will be: who would you like to play you in the movie?
Ooh, that's another question, isn't it? Wow.
Something to think about.
Definitely.
Chris?
All right.
Well,
let's put on our thinking caps. Yes.
Indeed.
Well, Tippi, thank you so much for your time today. Hang on with us, and I want to mention her Great Animal Foundation. Again, if you'd like to go make a donation, go to www.shambala.org.
ORG, and come and see us. And the donations would be very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And come and see us, and look us up on the website and all of those good things. And thank you so much for this interview.
Yep, please hang on with us 1 second. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
For CY Interview, I'm Chris Yandek.